Welcome back to True North, everybody. Let's stand and sing. It's our last day to celebrate together. Hey, hey, hey.
You know God's love, say hey. Hey, hey, hey. If that love's enough, say hey. Hey, hey, hey. Even in the darkest night, say hey. Hey, hey, hey. 'Cause you're gonna be alright, say hey. Hey, hey, hey. He'll leave the 99 and she's gonna go find the lost. His love always finds me, reminds me of the cross. If he gave his son for me, hey, 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 why should I worry? Hey, 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 it's time to pray. Keep those hands raised. Hey, 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 if you know God's love, say hey. Hey, hey, hey. If that love's enough, say hey. Hey, hey, hey. Even in the darkest night, say hey. Hey, hey, hey. 'Cause you're gonna be alright, say hey. Hey, hey, hey. He'll leave the 99 and she's gonna go find the lost. His love always finds me, reminds me of the cross. If he gave his son for me, hey, 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 why should I worry? Hey, 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 it's time to pray. Keep those hands raised. Hey, hey, hey. He'll leave the 99 and she's to go find the lost. His love always finds me, reminds me of the cross. If he gave his son for me, hey, 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 why should I worry? Hey, 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 it's time to pray. Keep those hands raised. Hey, 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 it's time to pray. Keep those hands raised. Hey, hey, hey.
When you're traveling through the wilderness of Alaska, you probably need to carry a very big backpack with you. Maybe you have a backpack that looks like this. It would have all the things that you need. In the next 30 seconds in your cruise, tell everybody else, what would you make sure you had in your backpack if you were traveling through the wilderness of Alaska? Talk in your cruise really quick. What would you take with you in your backpack if you were traveling through the wilderness of Alaska? Wow, your bags would have to be huge. I heard people wanting to take air mattresses. I heard people wanted food, snacks. I think some of the food you needed to take, you needed a microwave to heat it up. Your bag would be gigantic. You would need a lot of help to carry that bag, wouldn't you? Today, that reminds me of our Bible point, so maybe you can say that with me. We're going to say, when we need help, we can trust Jesus. When we need help, we can trust. That's going to be a great thing for us to learn today, because I don't know about you, but I know I need help probably more than I need to admit, and maybe you do too. And so we can sing about that today. We can sing about Help Me, Jesus.
When you help me, Jesus, whoa, I am not afraid. When you help me, Jesus, whoa, I am always brave. When you help me, Jesus, whoa, I am not afraid. When you help me, Jesus, I
Nice job, everyone. Now, when you're traveling through the wilderness of Alaska, you need to be aware of some certain sounds. I'm going to challenge you. When you hear a sound that you might hear in the wilds of Alaska, I want you to act out, make the motions of what you think that sound is representing. Does that make sense? All right, let's roll that clip and see what sounds we have. Ooh, what do you think that first one is? Show me what you think that first one is. Yeah, you're right. That's a big bear. How about this one? Yeah, that's a moose. Good job. This next one might be harder. That is an iceberg. How about this one? Yeah, this one's a whale. Ah, it's a whale. One more. Not a bird. Not an eagle. That last one, our first day Bible buddy would help us out. An otter. They make like a little chirping sound. You know, if I was in the wilderness and I heard some of those sounds, I think I would be a little bit scared. I know that I would definitely need some help. Especially, and you don't even realize it, but you can walk on an iceberg in the wrong spot and it can be very dangerous, just like those animals can be. But you know what? We have the opportunity to come together today and realize that God can help us. And that makes my day. It makes my day. It reminds me that this is the day that the Lord has made. Let's stand and sing. We'll do This Is the Day. Yeah.
So all my friends in the place today, you say, I say, we say, hey, put your hands, are you ready? Okay, this is the day that the Lord has made.
This is the day that the Lord has made, that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it, and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. This is the day. These are my friends that the Lord has made, that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it, and be glad in it. These are my friends that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. These are my friends that the Lord
On Monday, we had our Bible buddy. His name was... And Ponda reminded us that when we wonder, we can... Awesome. And on Tuesday, our Bible buddy's name... Thank you. Claudia. And Claudia reminds us that when we feel alone, we can... And on Wednesday, our Bible buddy's name was Cody. When we feel powerless, we can. Yesterday, we had our flying friend. His name is. And Ernest reminds us that when we need hope, we can. Which brings us today to our Bible buddy, and his name is Bruce. Bruce the Moose. And we know that when we need help, we can. Let's learn a little bit more about Bruce.
Hello, I'm Bruce the Moose. You've probably never seen a moose in the wild. We try to hide out. But since we're talking now, let me tell you all about the amazing ways God made moose. First, we're big. If an average adult man stood next to me, he'd come up to about my shoulders or so. Now, that might not seem like that big of a deal, but it's one way God helps us. You see, moose like me like to live in snowy places. Sometimes that snow gets pretty deep, but our long legs help us walk right through the snow. And my legs also help me wade into the ponds when it's hot in the summer. That keeps me cool and helps me find food in the water. Aside from plants that grow underwater, moose mostly eat the leaves or fruits of tall plants, so we need to be tall in order to reach them. Our long legs are just one way God helps us. He also gave us amazing fur coats to keep us warm in the cold Alaskan winters. Every single one of my hairs is hollow, which makes it like wearing a big puffy coat. And I don't just have hair on my body, even my nose and antlers have fur. I just know God gave me all that fur to help me stay warm. Take a deep breath. Feel the air going through your nostrils? Well, God made a bunch of passageways in my nose so that by the time the air gets into my lungs, it's warmed up. And those passageways also help capture water vapor when we breathe, which is a good thing when all the water is frozen. Yep, God gave moose like me everything we need to stay nice and warm. Most animals will eventually get so cold that their bodies start to use energy to stay warm, like when you shiver. But scientists haven't even found a temperature cold enough to make that happen to a moose. And if I want to know the weather forecast, I just check the winter net. You might think that with our big heavy bodies and long lanky legs, swimming might be hard, but it's not. Remember those hollow hairs I mentioned? They help us float. And while you might not want a long nose like mine, it helps me keep my eyes above water so I can keep a lookout. I just love the way God made me to swim and run fast. Moose hooves are another way God helps us out. He gave us strong, sharp hooves that help us kick a predator who tries to hurt us. We can even kick in any direction. Hee-yah! And the shape of my hooves is specially made for snowy winters. Walking on these hooves is like when humans wear snowshoes. But I haven't even gotten to my favorite feature, my antlers. These big things are made of bone and covered in a soft skin called velvet. It's like fur. And they grow fast. That's a good thing because every year moose lose our antlers and grow newer, bigger, better ones. So how do those antlers help us? Well, we use them for two things: fighting moose who try to steal our homes and showing off to the ladies. Speaking of which, the ladies find me pretty amusing. When you think about it, every part of a moose was carefully created so we have just what we need to live in Alaska. Jesus can give you help too, like if you're not sure what decision to make, or if you need a little extra courage to do what God has asked you to do. God gave me antlers, hooves, and hollow hair, but He gave you what you need too. He gave you a brilliant brain that can come up with ideas and brand new thoughts. He gave you the ability to talk and share about Jesus with other people. And he gave you a heart that can follow him and show his love to other people. So, no matter how helpless you might feel sometimes, remember that Jesus is right there to give you all the help you need. Time for me to go. Don't forget, when we need help, we can trust Jesus.
Jesus. You know, I don't know if you heard all of the amazing things that God gave a moose to help him live in the wild of Alaska where it's cold and dangerous. But it reminds us that when we need help, we can trust Jesus. That's such a comforting thing to know. Uh-oh. Scout! Is that you? Wow. Wow.
Wow is right.
That's quite a load. Why do you have so much stuff?
Well, yesterday, when I told you I dropped all my stuff in the river,
Yeah?
so you loaned me all this gear in my front.
Yeah, sure, I remember.
So then, I was walking along the river,
Careful, yeah.
and I saw all my stuff
Okay.
washed up the river and was stuck in some brush.
So now you have twice as much stuff as you had before.
That's right. And you know what? Twice as much stuff equals a better hiker.
Whoa, can I help you with some of that?
No, I got it.
Okay, yeah, it looks like you do.
I have 2 towels. I'm prepared for anything.
Okay, all right. Well, oh my goodness, Scout, were you prepared for that?
No.
Yeah.
No, I was not.
I didn't think so. You know, you can be prepared with all the gear in the world, but there are still some things you're going to need some help with.
You know, I'm starting to realize that now.
And you know, there's nothing wrong with asking for help. I have to do it all the time, right? And the first thing that I do is I pray. I ask Jesus for help. And that's what we're learning today. We're learning that when you need help, we can.
Does he actually help?
Absolutely. Now, I mean, we need to trust him that he's going to calm our hearts and our minds when things are bad or scary. But we know that we can trust him to put people in our lives that can help us and lend us a hand.
Like you did when you lent me all your camping gear.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it. So, what if I give you some help here, taking some things off, and
Well,
maybe that.
I guess I can give you your gear back now.
Well, you know what? That gear was kind of extra for me, so maybe, maybe you could pass that on to somebody else who might need it.
You think Jesus would hear me if I asked for help, even when I said earlier I didn't need any?
That's the great thing. Jesus always listens to us, and he's going to always be there. He's a God that we can trust.
I feel so much better. Thank you.
You're welcome. Hey, where are you going?
I'm off to tell everybody about Jesus.
Wow, awesome. That sounds like a great idea, Scout. And you know what, boys and girls? We're going to go learn so much more about Jesus today at True North. And so I can't wait to see you at our Compass closing to find out what you learned. Have a great day. Purple, you can head out that way. Green, you can follow Purple.